Welcome back, my dear students. So on this lecture, I want to go over a couple tools that we are going to need for this course. Now, the major tool that we are going to need is called Homestead. What is Homestead? Well, Homestead is a Laravel. It's actually called Laravel Homestead. It's a bot, a virtual environment for Laravel. That's all it is. Now, this is the documentation here. You can come to your laravel.com, look at the documentation, and learn how to set this up. Now, if you don't know how to set this up, look me up. Maybe I have a course on this. If I don't, there are many tutorials out there, including this one in the documentation on how to install it. I'm going to go over it right now if you don't know what it is. Basically, like I say, it's a virtual environment for your Laravel installations, and you're going to have like a mini computer inside your computer. And that mini bots has an operating system of Ubuntu at this moment. It's going to have the Git version control in there, PHP 7, MySQL, basically all these databases. You're going to have Composer, Node, Grom, Gulp, all this in there. So that way you don't have to install this in your computer, right? To run Laravel successfully. Because sometimes when we are creating projects and we are doing it straight from our computer, we need to download, let's say, for example, if we're using Postgres, we need to download Postgres. All right. If we are using, let's say, a different version of PHP, we have to go and update this, right? And what about Git version control? We will have to install in our computer as well. But when we use Laravel Homestead, everything's installed inside this little bots container, and it doesn't affect our computer. So if we update our computer, that bot is left alone. There's nothing, we're not doing anything to that bot, which is pretty cool. Now you can always update your bots in there. All right. So really cool stuff to know when you're doing Laravel development. All right. And I suggest it. So if I don't have the course, go ahead and find it from somewhere else, even from the documentation, and do it. This is not as complicated as it looks. It's very simple. Now, to install this, when you find a tutorial, it's going to tell you that you need Git. So make sure that you have a Git. Go to the git-scm.com and install your Git software. Install Vagrant. All right. And then after you install it, I think it's going to ask you to restart the computer. That's fine. Then install VirtualBots. These are super easy stuff. It's going to take you maybe 30 minutes to download everything. Then Composer. And once you have all this, the last thing that you got to do, all right, and this is all for Homestead, all right? So make sure that you have all this for Homestead. This is Composer. It's a dependency manager for PHP. It helps you download packages that you can include for your PHP projects. It's very useful. You can create a Laravel installation with this as well. Even though when we download Homestead, we can actually do this we can use Composer there. All right, as you can see. But it's always good to have it in your computer as well. Now, lastly, we're going to be using the command line for Heroku. So I found this like this. I went to Google and I type in Heroku CLI, command line interface. That's what that stands for. And then you're going to have a couple links here. Download the one that corresponds to your system. Once you download it, you're good to go. So make sure you have all this in place. The major thing is Homestead. Have it in place. If I don't have the course, find it with somebody else. Or go online. There are a lot of free ones out there probably. Make sure you have these tools for Homestead. Git, Vagrant, VirtualBots, Composer. And then the CLI Heroku command line tool. Or command line interface. All right? Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next lectures. Good luck.